The distress call. The galaxy had always seen humanity as an anomaly, a cosmic joke played by the universe. To the galactic community, Earth was a death world, a designation for planets teeming with hazards so extreme that no sane civilization would choose to evolve there. But humanity hadn't just survived, they had thrived. The Council of Galactic Harmony had long debated whether to welcome them, fear them, or simply quarantine their entire solar system. And then, everything changed. On Zorath Prime, the Zorathi were a proud, ancient race, renowned for their technological prowess and cultural sophistication. For centuries, their crystalline cities shimmered under the twin suns of their homeworld, untouched by war or invasion. The galaxy saw them as untouchable, their planetary defenses the stuff of legends. That's why the arrival of the Draxan hordes was so shocking. The Draxan were a species bred for conquest. Towering insectoid monstrosities with carapaces harder than steel, they moved through the galaxy like a plague, leaving only scorched worlds in their wake. And now, their sights were set on Zorath Prime. The Zorathi's distress signal reached every corner of the galaxy. Their voice, once calm and confident, was laced with desperation, but the galactic powers hesitated. The Draxan hordes were unstoppable, and no one wanted to draw their attention. No one except humanity. The decision wasn't made lightly. On Earth, the United Nations Space Command debated for hours. The risk was immense. If the Draxan overwhelmed the human fleet, Earth itself could become a target. Yet, as the Zorathi's pleas echoed through the stars, humanity's leaders knew they couldn't stand by. This was more than a fight for survival. It was a chance to prove they belonged among the stars. Humanity arrives. When the UNS Resolute dropped out of hyperspace above Zorath Prime, the Zorathi were unimpressed. The human fleet was small, their ships battered and unassuming. Compared to the gleaming armadas of the Galactic Council, humanity's forces seemed almost laughable. Zorathi High Commander Valesh met with the human delegation aboard the Resolute's bridge. His crystalline form refracted the dim light as he spoke. "We appreciate your courage, humans, but the Draxan cannot be defeated. Even the Council fears them. You cannot hope to succeed where they have failed." Captain Elena Vega, a battle-hardened veteran with sharp eyes and a sharper tongue, smiled faintly. "With all due respect, Commander, you called for help. We answered. Now, are you going to let us fight? Or do we have to save your planet without your permission?" Valesh's crystalline face flickered with an expression that might have been confusion or annoyance. But before he could respond, the Draxan fleet arrived. The alien armada burst into the system, blotting out the stars. Each ship was a nightmare made manifest, their jagged organic designs radiating menace. Alarms blared throughout the Resolute as sensors picked up the massive fleet, yet Vega remained calm. "Battle stations," she ordered, her voice steady. "Let's show them what humanity can do." The battle in orbit, the Draxan ships were monstrous, resembling dark, twisted hive structures that seemed almost alive. They dwarfed the human vessels in size and number. The Zorathi defensive grid activated, its energy shield shimmering like a second atmosphere. Yet, as the first Draxan salvo struck, the shields flickered and failed. The Zorathi gasped in horror. "Your defenses are impressive," Vega said dryly. "But ours are better." The Resolute's command crew sprang into action. "Deploy the Wolfsbane Protocol," Vega ordered. From the human fleet, hundreds of small, agile drones launched into the void. They swarmed the Draxan ships, weaving through their defenses with an almost organic intelligence. Where the Zorathi had relied on static shields and stationary weapons, humanity's strategy was dynamic, unpredictable, chaotic. The Draxan, accustomed to crushing opponents through brute force, struggled to adapt. Human ships darted in and out of the fray, exploiting every weakness. The Resolute's railguns punched through Draxan hulls with terrifying precision, while the drones delivered surgical strikes to critical systems. The Zorathi watched in stunned silence as the invincible Draxan began to falter. As the battle raged, Vega's calm demeanor never wavered. She barked orders with precision, directing her fleet like a maestro conducting a symphony. Each move was calculated, each sacrifice necessary. By the end of the first day, humanity had done the unthinkable. They had stopped the Draxan advance. The ground war, but humanity's true strength wasn't their technology. It was their people. As the battle raged in orbit, Draxan drop pods rained down on Zorath Prime. The insectoid warriors emerged in the thousands, their razor-sharp limbs carving through Zorathi defenders. Crystalline streets ran red with blood as the Zorathi struggled to hold their ground, and then the humans arrived. The 42nd Earthborn Division, clad in exosuits that amplified their already formidable physical abilities, deployed with brutal efficiency. They moved like a single organism, their coordination and adaptability unmatched. Where the Zorathi faltered under pressure, humans thrived. They turned every ambush into an opportunity, every retreat into a counterattack. Sergeant Marcus Kane led a squad through the shattered ruins of Zorath's capital. His exosuit's HUD flickered with tactical data as he barked orders. "Harper, flank left. Singh, cover that alley. We're not losing another block to these bugs." The squad moved. With precision, cutting through the Draxan like a scalpel through flesh. Kane's voice carried over the comms. "This isn't just about Zorath Prime," he growled. "This is about showing the galaxy what humanity can do." Kane's squad wasn't alone. Across the city, human soldiers fought alongside Zorathi, civilians teaching them guerrilla tactics and inspiring them to stand their ground. For the first time in centuries, the Zorathi felt hope. The turning point. The battle lasted 3 days. By the second day, the Draxans' relentless assault began to wane. Their fleet burned in orbit, and their ground forces faced fierce resistance. Humanity's ability to adapt, to think outside the rigid strategies of most galactic species, gave them a decisive edge. Captain Vega stood on the Resolute's bridge, her eyes fixed on the tactical displays. Every move the Draxan made, humanity countered with brutal precision. The Wolfsbane drones, now infamous across the galaxy, had disabled the Draxan flagship, leaving the enemy fleet in disarray. On the ground, Sergeant Kane's division had turned the tide. Using guerrilla tactics and coordinated strikes, they drove the Draxan back. Zorathi civilians, inspired by the human soldiers, began to fight alongside them, reclaiming their city block by block. In a desperate gamble, the Draxan attempted a final assault on the Resolute. Their flagship, a behemoth of twisted metal and organic matter, barreled toward the human vessel. Vega didn't flinch. "Bring the Trinity cannon online," she commanded. The experimental weapon, a fusion of human ingenuity and salvaged alien tech, fired a beam of pure energy that pierced the Draxan flagship. The explosion lit up the night sky, signaling the end of the battle. New era. By the end of the third day, the Draxan hordes were shattered. Their fleet was destroyed, their ground forces annihilated. Zorath Prime was saved. High Commander Valesh stood before Captain Vega in the aftermath. His crystalline form, once pristine, was chipped and cracked, yet his voice was steady. You are more than Deathworlders," he said quietly. "You are something else entirely, something the galaxy has never seen." Vega's expression softened, but her eyes remained sharp. "We're human," she said simply. "And we're just getting started." The victory at Zorath Prime sent shockwaves through the galaxy. For the first time, the Council of Galactic Harmony recognized humanity not as a threat, but as a force for good. The once isolated Deathworlders had proven that they were more than their violent origins. They were the galaxy's last, best hope.